Welcome to Should I Move There, where we explore if you should live, visit, or invest in a certain area. Today, we're going to be covering if moving to Clarksville, Tennessee, things to keep in mind. And my guest today is Vondell Richmond. Vondell, thank you so much for being with us today.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Absolutely. So tell us a little about how long you've been living in the area for, and just a little bit of your backstory.
Absolutely. So I actually have a unique background with Clarksville, unique relationship. Actually, it's the city so great. I think I said it last time, you got to live here twice. So my story is one of from homelessness to holding a key to the city of Clarksville. So I'm really proud of that fact. I was born in Oklahoma, grew up in Mobile, Alabama. Mom married a soldier, lived in Germany for about 3 years, and then Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Sounds kind of cool, but Campbell, Kentucky calls this area home. So we're home to the 101st Airborne Division, which is, a military installation. So we're proud of that fact. Screaming Eagles, home of the Screaming Eagles. Old Abe is the mascot for those who want to win that in the trivia. If you ever get on Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy somewhere. So my stepfather, he was 25 years in the military, man. He was a retired E7, Sergeant First Class. I think I got that rank right. And so he retired here and we moved here around the Desert Storm area. And I finished high school here, went to Northwest High School, go Vikings. And I was here from about that 88, 89 era up to about 95. And I transferred here out of, college, pursuing my bachelor's and ended up in North Carolina. So I was here for about, 3, 4, 5 years after high school, graduating in 92, left in 95. So whatever that amount of time is. And then I moved to the East Coast. And then I had the privilege, just unforeseen life circumstances, put me back here after being gone for about 20 plus years. I moved back here in December 2016. And I think this December is going to be 5.5, 6 years. So all in all, I think I did the math, about almost 12 years relationship with this area. And so really, really exciting time. The first time I was here, of course, I saw it through a kid's perspective or a young man's perspective. High school years, participated in drama and theater, had my first job at Blockbuster. I'm dating myself, and all of that's gone. And we were a small, teeny weeny town then. And then now, man, we have blossomed. One of the metaphors that I used to share when I was on city council was that Clarksville has gone through its pubescent years, its teen years. And, that's the years where there's a lot of growth happening and, things are uncomfortable. You get the pimples, all of us could remember all too well puberty. Your voice changes.
Yeah.
Your muscles start to take shape. And that's a metaphor that I love sharing about what's going on here in Clarksville. So still experiencing some growth pains here and there, but they're all good growth pains. My pastor actually says healthy things grow and growing things multiply or something like that. And so that's what I like to think of when I think of this area. So yeah, man. So I've been here about 12 years. So
yeah. So you grew up in the area, left, came back.
Yeah.
And now you've been here for 6 years or so. And then I'm sure in between you've been back and forth. But for people out there wondering, so what are some things they should keep in mind if they're thinking about moving to the area?
Yeah. So to keep in mind, number one, so a lot of people who are local to Clarksville remember when Clarksville was in its, infancy. They remember, going to the end of the town, so to speak, and there being nothing over the horizon. And so if you're moving here, I would say that's something they want to keep in mind. They want to keep in mind the two types of Clarksville natives, there's Clarksville family, if you will. Clarks Vegas is something that the old Clarksville folks would say. They kind of dubbed it
Vegas. What's that?
Yeah, and
What?
and it used to have a reputation of growing up in high school, people would say, "Oh, there's nothing to do in Clarksville." We can't say that anymore. There's so much to do in Clarksville. We're growing by leaps and bounds. And the thing that I love is that anytime you get bored, especially if you have a driver's license, man, we are centrally located to so many other metros. So for example, Davidson County, aka Nashville, a lot of people know Nashville. The television show just put it on the map. And so we are only 40 miles north, I believe, of Nashville, going towards Kentucky on the Kentucky side. And so that is something that if you're moving to this area, you have to know these things, that you're, 40 miles an hour, if that, drive on 24 from here to Nashville. And then you're in the throw of, the number one tourism capital on the planet right about now. Like a $12 billion tourism industry in Nashville. And then if you head the other way, like I said, north, coming back, you're headed to Kentucky, which is you can get to Louisville in a few hours, Chattanooga in a few hours. So we are very centrally located. We're only a 3-hour drive to about Memphis, 2.5-hour drive to there, depending on how fast you drive. And then we're a stone's throw to Mississippi. So we got it going on down here in Clarksville. And that's why we were voted #1 best place to live. So that's another thing.
I didn't realize you guys were that close to Nashville, actually. My mom just actually went there just to visit and just to check it out.
Everybody, Brian,
a lot of people are going.
The week I get a text or a message, inbox on Messenger to say, "Hey, Vondell, are you still in Nashville?" I'm like, "Yeah." Just call it the area, and they're like, "Well, we're coming," and they want to connect and hang out and meet and catch up with old family and friends. So yeah, that's what's awesome, and it's very affordable. Like tickets, that's like one of the things I noticed since I've been back is the number of corporations and conferences and festivals that call Nashville the place they want to, call other people to. So it's like the cost of living is so affordable. The amenities are easy to get to, the events, the excursions, so a lot of conferences I've seen an uptick in conferences come to this area. And of course, people know The Last Train to Clarksville, which is I heard is a Monkey song. They always, notoriety around that song. But those are some things to really keep in mind. And there's a lot of industry flooding this place because of that.
Yeah. So that I'm curious. So we have some things that keep in mind moving to the area. But what are some things maybe we aren't expecting if we're thinking about moving to the area?
Absolutely. So I think what people don't expect when they move to the area is that there are a lot of millennials that are moving into this area. It's not just a military town. A lot of people think, okay, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, my family member. That's how, being in real estate, I hear a lot of people say that the way they learned about Clarksville is they have a loved one or a family member, or they, grew up in a military family and they once upon a time used to live here. So a surprising thing is we've grown beyond just being a military town. We keeping our military, that'll always be the heart of who we are here in Clarksville, Montgomery County. But a surprising thing to know is we are expanding and starting to attract major corporations. I pull up some facts and figures here. So get this. First of all, you need to know we're a right to work state. There's no personal income. And this is really why people really want to move here, Brian. No personal income tax on wages and salaries. And we have the lowest state debt per capita in the country, and that's according to the Tax Foundation. And I didn't know that, so that's pretty cool to know. And I think that we are home here. Let's see how many industries it says.
Good old Tennessee being responsible.
Absolutely. But yeah, we're home to like Hankook. Something that people don't know is that we have 2 major Korean-run corporations here: Hankook Tires and LG. And that to me is a sign of a thriving economy. I mean, if you have international businessmen and women looking to say, hey, how can we do business and bring our folks to Clarksville, Tennessee? I think that's a huge plus. And so we're starting to attract international players like Hankook and LG. And then I think this was interesting, a mayonnaise, like a Asian mayonnaise manufacturing company moved here recently. Wow. Yeah, and Google built their 15th data center here. I think it was the 5th.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's all good to know. So that's stuff that people may be surprised that a lot of their Google stuff is probably sourced right out of here in good old Clarksville, Montgomery County.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. No, I'm a big technology person, so
absolutely.
I know. They've been putting data centers in the Midwest, and you guys are technically the South, though, right? If I'm
we're technically the South. And man, you got to know how to make iced tea. So something you need to know before you show up here is if you don't know, you cannot put sugar in iced tea after it's cooled. You have to, when it's hot, right out of the brew, you have to put your tea in then. You have to sweeten it then.
Okay, talk to me about the culture. So the culture, because you guys are the South, but you're like pretty close to the Midwest. You're getting there, right?
So we're centrally located. Yeah, so Nashville. So speaking back to Nashville, our airport, B&A is blown up. I mean, that thing is literally ginormous now. They're putting a hotel on the premises. They're expanding the different terminals left and right. And if you were to go there on an average Monday morning or Sunday evening when people are trying to get back to work, the hustle bustle of their lives, you'd probably be in traffic like you would expect in like an Atlanta or
Atlanta.
New York. Yeah, Newark Airport. Yeah, so we are really have come into our own, and it's really great to know. But again, a lot of people that's one of the things people are just uncomfortable with. You know, they're so nervous about how we've grown and they're afraid we're going to become Nashville, but I don't think we'll ever, you know, Nashville is always be our big brother, and we're like the cool younger brother that's coming up. And I don't want to assume everybody knows this. So in 2019 we won best place to live according to money.com. So that's something that you ought to know, is why we won money.com's best place to live. Some of these factors that I'm naming is of course a big part of it. We're right in the center of the Bible Belt, so if you're a faith-based person, you know, we welcome you with open arms. You'll see a church on every other corner, and there's tons of real estate professionals like myself here waiting to serve you. And so that's something to know.
So talking about like it's a good place to move and live. What are some like areas to keep in mind if people are like searching or looking for areas within the Clarksville area or the surrounding area?
Yeah. So as you can imagine, Brian, because we have such a growing city, you know, I think it was one of the Open Doors, somebody named us number one fastest growing zip code, 37042. So different areas, as you can imagine, because of that hashtag best place to live, just the suburbs are just going off the chain. So Autumnwood Farms, Sango, Irish Hills, Farmington is a really nice suburb. West Creek Farm is a really nice, anywhere between, you know, 300 to 400 for a 4-bedroom home is I mean, and these are nice sized homes. I was just there showing a property the other day, and it was over 3,500 square feet, you know, and it was just under, you know, 480. So, you know, things like that are in the area, and these are the gems. And so you have our downtown corridor, which is near the Austin Peay State University, Franklin Street. If you start to hear any of those kind of areas, a lot of townhomes going up in that area, a lot of revitalization going on in that area. So the downtown, what do we call that? Riverside. Matter of fact, this weekend at the time of this recording, there's the Riverfest, which is unfortunately the last one. Hopefully they'll
Riverfest. What's that?
Yeah, so Riverfest is just a big vending event where they bring musicians, you know, so you've got a lot of, it's a music festival. And so cool. There's vending, there's food trucks, there's stuff for the kids. It's just a big event for the whole family. And it's right along the river downtown. There. It's beautiful.
Seems like a good time to visit then.
Yeah.
Like if you were to visit and kind of check out the area. Like I always like to plan trips where there's like, it coincides with something.
Absolutely. So that's happening this weekend starting tomorrow. So it's the longest running community festival, and it attracts more than 30,000 patrons. So excellent. Concerts, competitions, performances, like I said, food trucks, that sort of thing. So yeah, you really should check out our vacation, tnvacation.com, I think is, and then let me get you. So yeah, they host Riverfest.
So what area is that in, the Riverfest?
So it's going to be downtown along the river.
You said,
yeah. So it's downtown, what we call our downtown corridor. I'm looking at it right here now. If you go to actually visit ClarksvilleTN.com, the other one will catch it too, but this is more local. But yeah, so you got the downtown corridor, that area. That's where like the heart of our college is, you know, about, you know, Austin Peay's home to, you know, the governors host about probably growing now up to 12,000 students. I think about a year or so ago when I was on city council, we were, you know, right at peaking out at 11,000. And so that was a huge deal.
Oh, the colleges are growing.
Absolutely. The colleges are growing here. We've got Nashville State College, a campus of their college here at the time of this recording.
No, because I some of our colleges in California, they're shrinking. I would say the public, or sorry, the private ones are shrinking.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that they're suffering because of the whole, like, you know, education's just changed.
Yeah, everything's going online. You got e-learning that's exploding now. So yeah. So
it would make sense in your area if education's growing because the cost of living is more affordable, so people can go study there. Yeah, it would make sense rather than paying. It's weird in California because it's like, wait, I'm paying a lot of money to come take classes online to live in an area that's really expensive. Like this
right.
There's like this disconnect. And then so I would just I guess I'll call you out with your college. And maybe it's leadership. I have no idea why the student population has been shrinking. Maybe it's a host of issues, but it just kind of modernly. But yeah, and they had to sell off property because they need the cash. So it's like, oh, this is not good. Like things are just changing. But so that's what I was surprised to hear. You said, oh, the student population is growing. I was like, oh, what?
Oh, yeah.
Like, That's great.
It is booming, man. It's booming. That is one of the things that, is really taken off. Like the college here has really grown.
Yeah, really.
Um,
That's good.
there we go. Okay,
That's always
there
a
we
good
go.
thing. No, that's like
Yeah, yeah,
very
man.
important, very important. Yeah, because then otherwise there's like dorms that are empty, and just there's a lot of things that go wrong if things
Yeah.
aren't growing in the area. So
Another thing cool to note when you move here is I think this is unique to Clarksville is we have two governments here. We have two local governments. We have a county government and we have a city government. And so which means we have two mayors. And so the city mayor is Mayor Joe Pitts. That's where I served as a council member, finished my tenure in 2022. So there's 12 city council members. And this is really important. I used to not pay attention to this kind of stuff, but I think it's worth mentioning, especially when you talk about an area that's growing. You hear so many complaints and so many interesting perspectives. Everyone's not happy with it, but at the same time, a lot of people are happy. But I think no matter where you move to, we welcome you with open arms here to Clarksville. I think immersing yourself into understanding local government is one of the best things that any resident can do. And then we have a county government. At the time of this recording, Mayor Wes Golden is newly elected mayor in his first term of his first mayoral tenure. And there's 22 county commissioners. And so the school system rests up under a county government, for example. And then we have like city of Clarksville, Montgomery County has the police force and everything, and each has their own park systems. The county, you have your sheriffs, we have our police officers. And so just a lot of awesome men and women serving our amazing city. So that's something to know. And they work in tandem. They both work very well together. And so that's something that I think is very unique. And of course, we don't have the tax at the state level, but people in the county, just you'll pay two taxes. You'll see the taxes divided up into those municipalities, and that's something that people kind of have their qualms about. But the cost of living is so low here, especially if you're an out of towner. You come here, you're in love. You're like, houses at $375, give me two. Selling your home on the East Coast or somewhere in the West Coast. So yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, well, here, let me put it in perspective this way. Brand new apartment complex, had a friend who $1,300 for a 2-bedroom, a brand new amenities, indoor heated pool, gym, indoor event center, game room, gated community, 20 minutes away from Nashville.
Nice.
Now, Clarksville, they think it's expensive because $1,300 is unheard of. But for those who are new to the area and who understand inflation and how everything is everywhere else, that's an amazing rent. For a 2-bedroom.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
Very competitive. Now, you mentioned city council, how you guys have good people serving. Yeah, policy will make or break an area. So, and the people serving and the leadership that they have, it's very important for the long-term sustainability of an area.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be moving family and things like that, or
absolutely
buying lots of property, things like that. So, Vondell, think about moving to the area, but I want to do a new build. What's some of the options on that, like some of the areas maybe
absolutely
you would look at, or there's land available for that?
Absolutely. So the Sango area, I pulled up some market stats here to kind of talk through new construction and what we have currently. So at the moment of this recording today, this is September 23, there are 967 active pre-existing homes, pre-built, what we call pre-built, meaning, these are homes that have already been built and that are in our inventory. And let's see, so we're talking average square foot here is about 2,064 square feet. Median square footage is 2,032. So not a meager home by any stretch of the imagination. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, half bathroom thrown in there, about averaging anywhere between 192 to 198 price per square foot. And listing price on those 3-2s anywhere from 3,599 is the medium. And then that's pretty much what we quote. So I think I said around 375 early. So it's come down, looks like a little bit. And just days on market, a little over a month and a half. So a month and 18 days. So 48 days, 64 days, average days on market. And then 48 days is about the median days on market.
Which area did you say, or the city?
This is just Clarksville, Montgomery County as a whole.
Oh, got it.
And then I was going to go into new construction. And so out of that 967 listings, there's 506 of those that are new construction. So new construction areas. So Sango area, they're building. So really that area so we have an area called Ashland City, which is kind of the old Clarksville Highway. Woodland Hills is a new subdivision that's going up in that area. I know they've expanded and, unfortunately Bambi and his friends are losing acreage, but they're putting homes.
Got the blowtorch and just like.
Right. Well, and that's one of the things we hear a lot, the Exit 8 corridor. So one of the things to know about Clarksville, this is kind of more of a technical answer, Brian. So if you move to Clarksville, one of the things you must know is I think about it like a thermometer. And if you take and start at the farthest right point, that would be Nashville. So if you started over here, think about like a what do you call it? Like a timeline. If you thought of a timeline concept, we are on what we call the exit system. That's kind of how we relate to things around here. So Nashville is going to be like exit 44. 44A is, 43 is when you get to the airport, Briley Parkway, that area. And coming from Nashville, coming towards Clarksville, once you get it to about exit 35, that's an area called Jolton that's kind of out in the county. And so it's a little bit more spread out. And so there's some good areas to build out there. There's a lot of Airbnb, short-term rentals and everything like that hang out there. That's, if you're planning to visit Nashville, that's where you can get like a more affordable Airbnb. If you're looking at East Nashville and some different areas, they can be a little pricey just because tourism is so high. But if you want to save some money and be kind of centrally located to the airport, check out Jolton in that area. That's going to be like more affordable Airbnbs, but you're also still only like a 20-25 minute Uber ride or Lyft ride downtown Nashville. So as you come back towards this way, then you hit exit 19, then you hit exit, and there's a big jump. So there's 35, 24, 19. That's Adams, that area up in there. They got some really nice houses in there. So if you want to, again, be some elbow room between your neighbors. But once you get around exit 11, that's our MLK Sango area. That's going to be like the last proper stop that we consider to be like you're leaving Clarksville. So the Sango area, just because there's so much green space out there, that's an area that you can do a lot of building in. Got a lot of nice townhomes going up in that area. So a lot of younger millennials are starting to move there, smaller families, maybe husband, wife, or your spouse, you and maybe one or two kids, that area. Then as you come back this way, so you go 11, then you get to exit 8. Exit 8 is the Rossview Road. That's where we have 3 major school complexes. Oh, by the way, we also just built 2 new schools, so high schools. I believe it's 2, it might be more, but we got some new schools going up. So that's always a good sign of growth.
Yeah.
But exit 8, that area, Powell Road, there's a racetrack gas station that went up there. So it's a lot of growth. When I was on city council, a lot of contentions, like people saying, no, don't build in my backyard. Yeah. But that area is where the Hankook is. And that's what we call our industrial park area, Brian. So that's where that's where the Google complex is, the Google campus. So a lot of corporations moving in that area, and it's on a lot of developers' map right now. So that's a really hotbed. Then from exit 8, it jumps from 8 all the way down to exit 4. And then the exit 4 area is where our mall is. That's Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. That's where a lot of our restaurants are, the major restaurants. We got a new Slim Chickens or something like that. A lot of new restaurants coming to the area, a lot of fast food, a lot of sit down. If you want to go out on a good Friday, Saturday, that's where you can hang out. And then from exit 4, you shoot all the way down, going towards Fort Campbell into what we call exit 1.
Vondell, wrapping it up, last question. What's new in the area that people should know about?
So what's new in the area, Brian? Wow. So exit 1, there's a Buc-ee's coming. There's a Buc-ee's.
Oh my gosh. Let's go. Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's is coming.
It's funny. The beaver.
The beaver, right. Yeah, what is it? Nuggets? What is it called? The beaver nuggets?
Yeah. I see people here in California with the shirts. And I'm like,
love Buc-ee's.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, because I went last November, but I didn't realize it was going to keep like, gaining popularity. My cousin just took me just for fun. I was like, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. But
I had no clue, man. So there's one in Crossville, Tennessee, which is, kind of almost 2 hours going towards Knoxville. And man, I went there on the way back in town from Maryland not too long ago, back in 4th of July. And man, it was bananas. The beaver was there. So I post this stuff on my Facebook page, and people were like, oh my God, you met the beaver? Like, he was there. And I was like, yeah, I met a celebrity. So I got a picture with the beaver. So Buc-ee's is coming at exit 1. And Brian, just like we're excited and talking, that's the talk of the town. Some people are saying, man, I don't want to be anywhere near it. there's an old restaurant called O'Connor's, like a pub that kind of sold, and there's all kind of rumors. I heard they got $2 million for that land, and they did this and did that to the employees. Well, to the family, congratulations. But yeah, man, Buc-ee's is coming to the area. So that's a huge deal. So there's a lot of expansion, but there's also a Wawa, I hear.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I've
Wawa
been there
headed to the
too in
area.
Florida.
Yep.
In Florida, I've been to
Yep.
the. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's usually an East Coast thing. I used to see them in Jersey all the time. We've just gotten about 3 or 4 Whataburgers, if you're familiar with that
So
franchise.
okay, for the people who aren't familiar with Wawa, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, let's talk
how
about
do we describe Wawa?
that.
It's like it's
Let's
like
see.
I
7-Eleven meets Walmart meets,
gas
oh man,
station.
Dunkin' Donuts, I guess. Like, yeah, it's like, so it's like the biggest, so it's like a gas station
It is definitely a
convenience.
7-Eleven. You have like a 7-Eleven feel, but like
Yeah, like
not like the bad feel, but like the good feel. Like
yeah,
the
so Wawa would be Bucky's little brother or cousin. Like
yes.
Bucky's is like,
Who
massive
happen
truck
who
stop.
yes, who hangs out with 7-Eleven? Yeah,
Exactly.
and you're like, oh, you've been hanging out with 7-Eleven. You're like, yeah, I have
Yeah,
been.
yeah,
But
yeah. And I've been lifting weights.
yeah, yes.
So Wawa, Bucky's, what else? Oh, F&M Arena. So we have a new arena that's amazing. Downtown Clarksville, there's an arena. So F&M is Farmers and Merchants Bank. It's a local bank. They, put up the funding and invested heavily into the arena. So it's F&M Arena. There's going to be hockey there. They had a grand opening not too long, a ribbon cutting that I attended not too long ago.
Nice.
And they had, ice hockey for kids. They
Good.
had, it's going to serve as a concert venue. They have, Austin Peay State University's girls. So right now they had a crowd issue on the campus. I understood they had the, men's and women's basketball, volleyball, all the different amazing athletes showing off their skills. And, of course, raving fans and ticket holders. But they, so much so they built a whole nother arena, gave it an upgrade. And so F&M Arena downtown. And then you got some nice restaurants down there that you can hang out at. Oh, we're also getting now, this may change, but it's been put in the paper, so I can say it. But there is potential talk of a baseball team
Oh
coming
wow.
to Clarksville. Yeah. So if you want to do the research, check
Oh my
out.
gosh.
Yeah, there's an old plant here, Vulcan, which was an old manufacturing plant. There's a great property there. I forget how many acres it is, but they're
Oh
talking
my
about putting
gosh.
a hotel, split level residential and hotel hospitality. All these X number of parking spots, but a baseball stadium is in the talks. And then we're also getting our first roundabout here as well. So we're getting a roundabout, to
Roundabout,
help
what's that?
traffic move.
Oh,
So,
oh,
when
oh,
you,
oh.
like in London,
The
when you go through the
traffic. Yes, yes.
traffic, yeah, the traffic roundabouts, that was
Okay.
a big deal here. And then we're also getting Wings of Liberty, which is a military museum. It's going to be unbelievable. It's like a $20
Nice.
million project,
Wow.
celebrating our history, our amazing history with our military here. So yeah, so that's going to be awesome.
There's a lot going on. Usually when I ask this question, it's like, like a couple
Oh
things, but
yeah.
there's like actually there's like a whole list of things.
Oh
That's
yeah, and those are the things that they announced.
right.
Those are some of the projects that have been announced. Some of the capital projects or business projects that have been announced. There's other ones that, as we know, are in development and they have code names. And I thought that was pretty cool. The Economic Development Council kind of gives stuff code names until they actually are announced publicly. But those are some of the companies and corporations that are moving in. Those are the ones that are on the horizon and that the neighbors are talking about. So when you come, there's a lot of hustle bustle and a lot of talk about these exciting things that are coming here. So
Yeah,
yeah, man,
that is
it's
exciting.
exciting.
That's very exciting.
Very,
Okay.
very exciting.
All right, Vondell, last question. What's the best way for
Yeah.
people to reach out to you?
Absolutely, Brian. So on all social media channels, you can reach me at the @ symbol Vondell, VONDELLR.
Awesome. And phone or text are good as well.
Absolutely. Feel free.
Cool.
It's 24 hours, 24/7. It's the what is it? The gift that keeps on giving.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm open to text. You can text me. It doesn't disturb me, no matter what. If you watch this at 4 o'clock in the morning, if you shoot me a text, it will not wake me up. I promise you, I'll get to it when I wake up.
Sounds good. And all of Vondell's information will be down below. I hope you guys
Absolutely.
enjoyed this. Let us know if there's any comments or questions you have. Vondell and myself will be sure to get back to you in the comments. And this is Moving to Clarksville, Tennessee. Thank you guys for checking out this episode. Hope to see you in the next one.